So we got a couple of answers, right? So here we cannot say that it is immutable or mutable because we can always modify the values whatever we have in array and the list as well. And one more answer I have seen is array is a single dimension and list is multi-dimension. So it is not a correct statement because array also can have a multi-dimension and list also can have a multi-dimension. And the correct answers I got from you guys is array is of fixed size, whereas the list we can add or modify or delete the items from the list. Whereas we can modify the items in array. We cannot add or delete items. And the dictionary is a key value pair. And even we can add or remove or modify values in the dictionary. So that is the difference. Okay. And so just want to hear it out from you guys again before we start the session. Um, here, what do you mean by the type conversion?
Yes, correct.
Yes, correct.
One second. So yes, correct. Whatever you mentioned right in the chat, that is correct. Like converting from one type to the other type. Let me share my screen. Conversion. So converting from one data type to another, right? So correct, conversion of one data type to the other data type is correct. But can we convert any data type to the other data types? See, when we call converting from one data type to the other data type, let us say source data type and destination data type. So can we convert any data type to the other data type? Is it possible? Yes, no, it is not possible to convert from one data type to the other data type in all the time, because the value should be compatible, convertible, which means in UiPath or a C sharp, right? Like for string values, always we use double quotes, right? And integer, any integer value, we can convert to string. So give me a moment, guys. So we can convert to string. Any value, whatever you have in the integer, you can convert it to the string. So there is no problem in it. But all strings cannot be converted to integer. So example, I can say um, 1 can be converted to string. But at the same time, 3 can be converted to 3. But in the string, right, we can have any text. It is not necessary that you need to have always the numbers. Name, this cannot be converted to the integer, which means like you should be capable of assigning particular value to that data type, then only that conversion can happen. And here, from string to sorry, date time to string is possible all the time, but all the strings cannot be to date time, right? And when we are talking about the date time objects, right, it is type conversion, right? So the major thing where we need to focus is converting all the values to string is important, because majority of the cases we want to convert each and every value into the string for the further utilization. And major complexity, what I have seen in my entire experience, is conversions of date time, either from date time to string or a string to date time. That will create a big complexity compared to the other conversions, because for other conversions it is simple or very straight away point that you can directly use convert dot, and in case if it is to integer you can say integer, or in case if you want to say to string. So the methods can be much more easy. For a date time also we have convert dot to date time, and this may not work in all the scenarios, all the cases. So we have a different datetime dot parse and datetime dot parse exact. So we have a different methods in the datetime to do the conversions. Other than this convert dot to datetime, the reason why we have other methods also is, see, we know, right? The date we will be writing in different directions, right? It can be 27042023, or you may write 04272023. You may write 27 APR 2023. So we have multiple ways of writing the date, and everyone will write in their own way. And this is the US way of representing the date, and this will be Asian. So the things will change, like major complexity will come here, because in this, right, in this we are clearly specifying the month name. But here in these two scenarios, for 27th, you'll get to know that, like, see, yeah, this is my 27th date and this is my fourth month. But let us suppose if you have a date of less than 12, if I directly give you this, even as a human, without specifying anything, so what do you think? Is this 4th July or 7th April in these two scenarios? So as a human itself, we will get confused, right? Obviously, the program will also get confused to give you the dates. And in this scenario, the way of like the convert dot to date time is going to take will be considered, and it may give you a wrong assumption. In case if you are putting in this way, because your month is all like your date is more than 12th. So in case if it is trying to consider this as a month, it will throw an exception or error saying that it is not in the right format, it is not in the correct format of the date. And because it is trying to consider this as a month, and it is 27th. So that is the reason for which we got this parse exact as well. Okay. And for the type conversions, right, we will just see very basic in terms of other conversions, but we will focus more on the datetime conversions, because when you have a datetime object, when you want to convert into the string, we may need to convert into different formats. See, other conversions are much more easy. So, directly you can just write your variable dot to string, that will convert your value to the string. So it is much more easy, but when it comes to the date time, the complexity will come in picture. So we will see how we can um, write our conversions, especially in case of date time. Okay. So everyone is clear about the typecasting and the conversions. If you have any questions, please let me know. Considering that like everyone got the clarity on this, so we are moving to the next topic. So we will see all these things in the UI path. once we complete with our theoretical. Okay. String methods. So, can anyone tell me why we are talking about the string methods? Because we have multiple different methods for each and every variable, right? But why we are talking only regarding the string methods as a separate concept, and why we included in the curriculum? Reason is, most frequently we are going to deal with the data, right? In our RPA implementations, we are going to deal more with the data, and that data is of string format, and we may need to manipulate this data based on our requirement. So that is the reason for which we are specifically talking about the string methods. And not only in this curriculum, if you go anywhere, right, everyone will focus more on the string methods than the other methods, because the string methods are like most frequently used in majority of the scenarios, and most frequently used methods are substring, split, trim. Did I missed anything? Most frequently used, replace. We have few other methods as well, but majority of the cases we are going to use these methods. Like we will be using count and all these things. We will see that in the coding when we are going further. But these are the most frequently used string methods. And substring is to get part of the given string based on start index and length. Substring is to get the part of the given string based on start index and also the length. And the split is split the given string based on a separator or multiple separators, and here the substring method outcome will be string only. Here it will be array of string, because you are separating the string, so that like you will be getting a array of the values which is got separated. Trim is to remove the spaces before and after the string. These will be used like in terms of when you are utilizing the values in um, like you are extracting the value from one application, you are taking the value from one application, and if any spaces are there, it may or may not accept. So in that cases, we are going to remove this. Okay. And next, replace. This is to replace a given text in the string with a new value. Okay. This is to replace any value with a new value from the given string or a given input text. And we can have two upper, two lower. These are to change the faces, face, whether to capital letters or to lower letters, small letters. We will be using this for the comparison operators. In the comparison cases, we will be converting these all these things either to the upper or to lower in both the values, because in case if the values are of different cases, it may not give you the proper conditional value output. So in that case, we will be using in this way. Okay, let me open the curriculum once again and let me see whether we covered as expected or not. We covered these topics. Chart state machines, index of and substring. Okay, so I think we are going good. So we have a lot of string methods as well, like index of, length, or a count. This will count will return you total characters we have in the string. Index of, in the sense whatever we are going giving as an input, the first occurrence of the input index in the string. So these are the different string methods we frequently use as part of our implementations. So any questions here, guys? Questions? See, we will be having the methods to convert to any type to the other type. So, but there will be very rare cases, but I never converted from string to the character. And string to the character, like in case if you have only one uh, character in the string, then you can convert it to the character, but you will not get any such a chance or a requirement to do that. Delete. Yatish, delete option. I'm not getting your chat point. Can you explain it? I don't think like we have a delete method. I guess we have the remove method, but delete, we'll see that. Yeah, remove is there, but I rather to prefer. I'll always prefer to go with the replace instead of remove, because it is like a headache for you to get all the details in order to do that. We'll see that. Let us go with the type conversions. I'm just creating a string variable, int variable, date variable. So let me change the things out here. Integer, time. So we have created three variables, and now let us try to will give string variable. I'm giving it to 100. Let me get a message box. Convert dot to. See here, you have all the method names available. As soon as you just hit dot and two, you can see like two character, datetime, decimal, double. So whatever is required for you, you can utilize that to do that. Convert dot to int32, and it is a string variable. So we are converting a string to an integer, and let us run this flow. 100. So you could able to convert it. And let us see, I'm just adding a space here. It is getting converted. And run this. Now we will get an error. String is not in the correct format to convert it to the integer, which means we have this text. That's the reason for which we are getting it. Or else, like, we will be able to convert that to the integer in case if you are always giving only the number in the string variable. And let us go with the integer variable here, and we can put 100. And here, to have it into the string, like converting into that into the string, right? Int variable dot to string. We can use either dot to string, or we can use convert dot to string also. First we'll run this and we'll go there as well. 100 convert dot to string into variable. So let us run this. Yeah, 100. So here we have two methods, right? Converting to the string dot to string, convert dot to. So what is the difference between these two? Why we have two methods to convert to the string? Is the preferred way. Here, both will convert your values to the string, but when you are dealing with the complex data objects, right, dot to string will not work. Dot to string will work for all conversions. So, in simpler way, you can use the dot to string, and some cases you will get an validation error while you are converting it any of the type to the string. So, in that case, you should use convert dot to string. Okay. So here we can convert that to the integer either in this way or dot to string. Okay, now everything is done. Now we will focus on, like, you got the flavor of like how we can convert from one data type to the other data type, right? Now we will focus more on datetime variable. See, datetime variable, to give a value to that, so let us give the system value. For system value, we can simply write now. That will give the current time to this variable. And now we want to see what date we have into that variable dot to string. So we can try out like short date string, short time string. So it will give you only time date, and this will give you only time, and this will give you the both time and date. Let us run this. Here it is. So you got the month, date, year, and the time. So you want to have it in a different format. You can just put a double quote here, and you can give your format. When the date time format comes into the picture, so for the date it will be D. For one, like in case like for D, right, it will be kind of 1 to 10, 11. We will be getting date in that way. DD, it will be 01, 02, 03, 10. So in this way you are going to get the dates. And for month, we will be taking capital M. This will be 1, 2, 10, 11. In that way, you can have a capital double M, which will be 01, 02, 03, 10. Like that, you are going to get. And you can have 3M. This will be Jan, Feb, March. So in this way, you are going to get. And you can have 4Ms. January, February. You will get the full name of the month. Okay. And YY will be 20, 21, 22, 23. In this way, you are going to get. You can have 4Ys, which will be 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. So this is the format of the date, different formats of the date. And for hours, we can have small h. This is for 24-hour clock, capital H, 12-hour clock. And small 2Ms will be for the minutes. SS will be for the seconds. Triple F will be for the milliseconds. TT will give you AM or PM. So we should remember these formatting things so that, like, based on our requirement, we can have the value into that particular format. Okay? So these are the different formats we should remember, and let us see how we are going to get it. Will be M Y Y, and let us run this flow. See here, 27, 4, 23. In case if I add one more M here and two Y's here, 27, 0, 4, 23. And we can have two more M's here. On April, full name we are getting, right? So in the similar way we are getting. And let us go with the R's. We'll specify HH, MM, yes, on this. So 1054. And let us have capital H. 10 o'clock is same in both the 12 hours, and morning 10 o'clock will be same, right? So let me just go ahead and just add this TT. AM. We are getting the AM. And let us revalidate whether the capital H is giving the 24 hours or 12 hours, right? So to look for the future date, right? In the date time objects, there might be a possibility that you want to have a date after next day, after one day, after 6 hours. So if you want to have, you have a methods like even the previous day also, like we can have add. You have add days, add hours, or add minutes. Like you can add any combination. Let us suppose if you want to have tomorrow's date, you can use add days, or yesterday's date you can use add days. But now I want to go with the add hours, and I want to add 5 hours from now, so that it should, it will give me like now it is around 10:50, right? If I add 5 hours, then it will be 3:50, right? Now I'll can clearly assess whether this double H is giving which format of the date. See, 15, which means this is giving me 24 hours. And then this will be 12 hours. Let us see, let us change that capital H to small h, and we'll see that. Well, small h is giving you the 12 hours clock. Okay. So one thing is like we should keep this always in our mind when we are dealing with the datetime objects. And here it is like see, this also you should be aware of, like dot add for the dates. You can add the hours, dates, minutes, seconds, or months, years, or whatever it might be. But the advantage of having this in place is like knowing this is like you can compare the date as well. Like, see, let us suppose if you want to try something, if you are implementing something, and you are checking a condition, and you want to check that for next 15 minutes, maximum time of 15 minutes. So you may need to give the condition, right? So the previous time and this time, you just need to see whether the time is matching or not by with the help of this add only. And not only, see, we have only add hours and add days, right? We can use that for the previous as well. Like we can just put -5, which means even in the days also. So the method name will be same. We will be just putting whether plus or minus values here, so that it will add or subtract that particular hours or a days from the date time object. Clear, guys? questions? See, this datetime object is a bit complex, so okay. Guys, so we will take a break for 5 minutes and then we will continue. So we will be on the call only, we'll be on mute, and we'll just take 5 minutes and then we will continue our discussion going further. Okay. Hi all. It is a bit hard for 1.5 hours to sit, right? So that's the reason for which I'm just giving 5 minutes break in between. Please confirm everyone is back to their desks. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Yeah. So now we are converted from the date to the string. Now the biggest complexity where everyone is facing, right? Across the industry, this issue we have string variable, and I'm giving the date 27/04/2023. And I want to convert this to date time object. Okay. Convert dot to date time, and we will give the string variable here. And to print that, we will use dot to string. Just to see whether it is converting as expected or not. And also in this, I'll give the format of dd hyphen space 4m space 4y. I want to print that in a proper way of like complete month name, just to see my conversion is as expected or not. Run this file. We are getting the error. So ideally this is the correct date, right? 27th February, April is the correct date. But when you are using this convert dot to date time, it is saying that it is not a valid date time. The reason is this convert dot to date time will take the US format, which means this should be 27 and this should be 04. Let us run this. 27 April. So in these scenarios, if the date is more than 12, we are fine. Let us suppose if you want to write 7th April, your assumption is this is 7th April as per the time format which we are going to follow, and run this file, and it is giving you 4th July, which means it is always taking that the first two are the month, right? And in case if you are putting 27, we don't have the month of 27, we are getting the error. So how to handle such scenarios? Date time dot parse exact. We will use the parse exact. In the parse exact, we will provide our string date, whatever the string we have, right? The date string, and then we will be providing the format in which we are taking that as an input, and we are going to provide system dot globalization dot culture info dot invariant culture. See, just remember this directly, because we always use the same thing, because we are going to provide the format provider. Okay, this will be always same. You just need to remember this. I'll just copy this. Okay, we'll do that. And here, what is in what format we are going getting that? dd space space 4y. This is the format we are giving, right? So first let us run this and we will put that. See here, we got it, right? So to see whether we are getting as expected or not, to string, and inside that we are going to provide the format dd space 4m space 4y. Now let us run this. See here, now we are getting the exact date. So whatever the format you are going to get, so let us suppose if you have space instead of hyphen in this, one place is space and the other is hyphen. What you need to do is you just need to put space here instead of hyphen. So whatever the format you are getting as an input, the same format you need to specify here in the format. If I run this, I'm getting it exactly. In case if I am not giving that space, and if I'm keeping it as hyphen, but I have the space or the input, and let us run this file. It is not recognized as a date time because we are clearly specifying that my date is in this particular format, and if that is not in that particular format, then we are going to get an error. Okay, and let me just put it here. This is the syntax. So you should always remember this. This will be same. It will not change. And you are going to provide the your string value, and this is your format, input format of the date. Okay. So are you guys clear? The advantage of having this parse exact method over the convert. This is very important conversion, the date time conversions. That's why I'm like taking this much time. If you are clear about all the things, then that will be great. If not, please let me know. I'm ready to explain again. Ashok, Raghu, Shrikant, Yatish. See, the reason is, guys, in case if I'm not asking you that, like whether you understood or not, and if you are not asking me the questions back, these sessions are not required, right? Like you can directly go to the YouTube and you can learn from there as well. So I want to understand whether the things are clear for you or everything or not. These are very basics, and we are going to use the same things going further in our implementations. So there you will get stuck in case if you are having any gaps in this. Okay. So now we will go with the strings, right? String methods. String methods, first we will go with the count or a length. Both will be same. It will return you how many characters you have. Okay. Let us go with the count. It should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 characters. Right? The count is giving 10 characters. Length. Both will be same. And now we wanna take the substring. So my substring is, I want to take only first two characters, 0, comma 2. 0 is the index, which means like starting index will be 0. So here 2 will be 0. So let us do one thing here. 27042023. Okay. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have total 10 characters here, but this is the 0th character, first character, second character, third character, fourth character, fifth character, sixth character, seventh character, eighth character, ninth. So the index will be always -1, right? For the 10th one, I have 9th index, which means it will the index will be always -1. And the substring, whatever we are taking, right, it will be the index comma length, how many characters you want to have as part of your substring. Let me run this workflow. 27. So when I gave 0 comma 2, I got 27. In case if I change it to 1, right, you will get 7 hyphen. 7 hyphen. So from the which index you want to have your substring and how many characters you want to have as part of your substring. That is the substring method. And next is, let us go with the replace. I want to replace my hyphen with a space. So I want to replace my hyphen with a space. Run this file. See here, my hyphens are replaced with the spaces. That is the replace method we will be using. And the next is index of hyphen. Let us run this file. Two, which means, see, hyphen index is 2, right? So we got the 2. So it is giving the first occurrence, like you have two hyphens, but it will return you only the first occurrence if you go with the index. See, the advantage what we have in UiPath is, in case if we just hit dot, right, you will get all the methods available for that particular object. And you can see, you can take that. And the contains we will be using in conditions generally. Hyphen means it will return you whether this hyphen is available in this string or not. In conditions, we will be generally using this contains method. So let us run this. It will return you the true because it is available. And let us suppose if I give space hyphen, run, false, because there is no space before this hyphen. So in case if whatever we are giving as an input here, if that is exactly available here, then it will return us. This is a string variable. Okay. And I want to write string here. What will be the answer? True or false? It is false. Because here S is in the uppercase. To check that properly, I will be using this lower. To lower. So what it will do is, before comparing, it will convert all this alphabets into the lower case and then it will compare with the string. Run file. True. So the conversion will happen to the lower case. So dot to upper, dot to lower will be to convert them into the uppercase or lowercase. And majority of the cases, we will use that method in the comparison statements only, because we doesn't want to fail our condition because of the case sensitivity. And let us suppose I have this here, okay, and I want to print this string variable on this file. See, you will not see the exact space in between, but there is a space here. How we will get to know? We will use the length here and we'll see the number. 37 we have. Okay. What I will do is, before getting the length of this, I'll use a trim method. So if you see, right, for trim we have three: trim end and trim start and trim. Trim is like it will remove the spaces even in the beginning and the end as well. Whereas the trim end is like at the end of the string, and the trim start is in case if we have in the starting. So in this scenario, you can use both trim start and trim as well. But I always prefer to go with the trim, irrespective. I don't want to have any leading spaces either in the beginning or at the end. Let us run this file. Now it is 25. From 37, it came to 25. So that is the advantage of trim method. Did we cover almost all the methods? Split. We are still struggling with this. We are pending with the split, right? Oh, this is a good one, actually. I'll just do one thing. Okay. Here, dot split method, and we can just provide the space here. And to get, because it is an array, right? So we just need to provide the index. And we are getting a compilation error because we are just giving one character to split, right? So we just need to put C here. We are explicitly saying that it is a character. Okay. And now if I run this, right, because it was splitted in the spaces, so we will get this as an output. And in case if you are going with one here, so let us suppose here we are splitting it only one value. And if we may want to split with string, some text, right? Is it possible to directly give in this way? We cannot give. So what we generally do here is, sorry guys. So what we will do is we'll just put an array, and inside that we are going to give and what none. This is the syntax to split any string with any string values instead of characters. For characters, it will be double quote and then we will be putting C. Let us run this. We get the second one, variable, right? The after one we are getting. And in case if we put it as 0, this is. But here, let us assume that you may need to split your string with multiple string values, not with a single. So if you see here, right, we gave the curly braces. When we are putting the value, we are giving this curly braces, which means we are passing the array. So along with this, I want to go with is. Okay. Now my first, previously my first index value is this is here. Now it will be only this and the space as well. Oh, because here also is is there, right? So that's why it's splitted to that and you got th. So you can give any number of strings, whatever you want to have, and split the things. And let us suppose I want to split only with the string space. And this is also acceptable. Not only the C, even this is also acceptable. So better for the splitting, right? Other than single character, we always go with this. Even with the single character also, if you want to go, you can go with this. And this is the syntax to split the values. And remove method, right? So I'll just give you an alternate approach for the remove, because for the remove, right, you need to give the start index and the length, like however we are giving the substring, right? In the similar way, you need to give the substrings, like the index and the number of characters. So instead of that, what I want to go is, like in case if you are aware of having the index, right, 0 comma will give 4. Let us run. This will be removed from here. This string value. Got some question. Why we are passing the index value? It means that string is converting in array. Yes, the split method will always convert you convert and will return you the array. See here, split will be always convert that because you are splitting the string into multiple strings. So that will be converted into the array. That's why we are giving the index. Here, in the is it clear, Akash? Yeah. So here in the remove, right? In case if you want to specifically remove based on the index values, we can use it. And let us suppose this instead of this, right? We'll take is. Is we have two times, right? If you want to remove is, right? In that case, here you need to go with the index. So whatever the index we have, 4, 5, 6, which means 5 comma 2. Method will have its own importance. Let me run this. So the ease is gone from here. But in case if I use replace this with null, this will be removed from here. Like whatever we gave in initially, right? 0 comma 5, that will be done. But in case if I go with only is, it will remove from this and this as well. th a string. So the replace may backfire sometimes. So in case if you want to remove only is, we can just put a space here, and just put a space, which means you are considering a is with before and after space. If you run this, now this is a string variable. So we just need to take care when we are passing the parameters. In case if you know the index to remove something, that will be, you can straight away pass that. Or else if you are using replace, right, you need to be very careful when you're using the replace, because it will affect whatever the number of occurrences we have, everything will get affected. So this is all about the string methods, and want to hear it from you. 5 comma 2, okay. Comma 2, right? Before running that, let us understand. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which means like my fifth index is I, and 2 means I need to have two characters, I and S. These two will be removed.
But path in UiPath basically index start from 0, right? So
Now I'm just waiting for your questions, guys. We are done with this session, so I'm waiting to hear it from you all. Questions?
path. So basically in UiPath
From
basically
tomorrow
our
we will
index
start
start.
with the conditions and loops and all these things. Okay, I'm stopping the recording.